Rain hits the city in thin silver lines while Claire Hart lights the last candle on the dining table. And checks the time again. It is their 5th wedding anniversary, and the apartment smells like roasted garlic, red wine, and the vanilla cake she ordered days in advance. The table is set for 2 with fresh flowers, printed photos of their early years together, and a small velvet box hidden near her plate. Inside that box waits a silver necklace engraved with the date of their wedding. A tiny compass charm, and the word always on the back. Claire glances at the phone screen where the message thread with Ethan Cole sits on top. Unread since noon.
Ethan, traffic is bad. Are you almost home?
She types the words fast, then deletes the last 3 question marks, replaces them, hesitates, and sends the message anyway. Minutes stretch into half an hour. Candles burning lower while the food cools and the city outside grows darker and louder. At 8:30 her phone finally buzzes and her heart jumps so hard that she almost drops it.
Project emergency. I have to stay at the office. Anniversary dinner will have to wait. I am sorry. I will make it up to you later.
There is no heart emoji, no voice message, not even the words happy anniversary.
Is it really that urgent? We planned tonight weeks ago. I booked our restaurant and cooked for you myself.
The 3 dots appear and vanish twice before a new message lands on the screen.
I know, but this contract decides the future of the company. I promise we will celebrate big when this is over.
Claire stares at the polite apology that reads more like a business email than a message from her husband. The rain outside is louder now, and the reflection of the candles in the window makes the empty chair across from her look even more accusing.
It is our 5th anniversary, Ethan. Do you even remember what day it is today?
This time there is no answer at all. For a long moment Claire just listens to her own breathing. Then she blows out the candles, grabs her keys, and picks up the small velvet box. She tells herself that if he truly is working, she will bring him the dinner and the surprise, they will laugh about it, and the hurt will fade. The drive to Ethan Company building takes 20 minutes. The wipers beating a frantic rhythm across the windshield. When she turns the last corner and sees his familiar black car parked not in the underground garage but in the quiet side street, her stomach knots. The office windows above are mostly dark, only a few distant floors still lit. Yet Ethan's car engine is off and the interior glows softly. Claire pulls over a little way behind, rain drumming on the roof as she peers through the blur of water on the windshield. A woman sits in the passenger seat of Ethan's car, hair loose over her shoulders, makeup flawless even in the dim light. The woman laughs, her hand resting on Ethan's arm in a way that no client would ever dare to copy. Claire watches as Ethan takes out a small box, opens it, and lifts a delicate necklace free. The same style Claire once mentioned loving in a store window. His face is soft with a smile Claire has rarely seen in recent years. All gentle eyes and easy warmth. He fastens the necklace around the other woman's throat with careful fingers, while the woman tilts her head pretending to be shy. The woman is Sophie Hale, the old flame who once sent Ethan drunk messages at 2 in the morning. The name he claimed was only a friend from college. Something inside Claire's chest tears with an almost physical sound as realization slams into her.
So this is where you are, Ethan. This is your emergency project. My anniversary night traded for someone else's romance.
Her voice dies in the small space of the car, swallowed by the rain and the glass between them. The velvet box in her hand slips from her numb fingers onto the passenger seat, and the necklace inside knocks against the cardboard with a tiny hollow sound. On the street ahead, Ethan leans in and kisses Sophie with slow, easy familiarity. Like this is their own private anniversary, and the world belongs to them. Claire grips the steering wheel so hard that her knuckles go white, her heartbeat roaring loud enough to drown out everything else. She thought he simply forgot, that work swallowed his attention, but the scene in front of her shows a different truth, cold and sharp. The man who once vowed forever has given his tenderness, his time, and even the necklace style she liked to another woman on the very night, meant to celebrate their marriage. Tears blur her vision, yet her jaw hardens, because beneath the burning heartbreak something colder begins to rise. A thin blade of clarity.
You lied about the project. You lied about the office. You lied about us. Happy anniversary, Ethan. You just wrote the ending yourself.
She does not step out of the car to shout or to beg. She simply watches until Ethan pulls away from the curb, with Sophie still in the passenger seat. Only when the red tail lights vanish into the wet darkness does Claire finally start her engine and turn the car toward home. The candles will have burned low by now, and the food will be ruined. But the night is far from over, and something inside her has shifted forever. The apartment is silent when Claire walks back in, heels clicking against the floor as if they belong to a stranger. The candles are crooked stubs, the flowers already wilting at the edges, and the food on the table has gone cold and dull. She sets the velvet box down beside the untouched plates, stares at it for a long moment, then carefully closes it again. Her chest feels empty and heavy at the same time, a mix of nausea, shock, and a dull, crushing ache.
You do not get to break me that easily, Ethan. I gave you everything. I will not also give you the right to destroy me.
Her hands are shaking when she reaches for her phone. But this time she does not open Ethan messages. Instead, she taps the contact labeled Jade and listens to the ring cut through the silence.
Tell me you are calling to share good news, and not because that man did something stupid again.
He forgot our anniversary. He said he was stuck at the office with a project. But I saw him parked outside with Sophie. He gave her a necklace tonight.
There is a pause on the line. Then Jade's voice hardens in a way that makes Claire's shoulders straighten.
Listen to me, Claire. You will not go over there to scream or to beg. You will not send long messages. We are done giving him free drama and free excuses. You are going to sit down, breathe, and start thinking like the designer who can plan entire campaigns. You are going to plan your exit.
I saw them so close. He looked happy. I feel like the last 5 years were nothing but a lie.
Maybe they were, or maybe he changed. Either way, you are not a victim of his choices. You are a woman with legal rights and a brain. We will make sure he pays.
The word pays cuts through the haze of pain and lands somewhere solid inside Claire.
What do I do first? I feel like I cannot even breathe.
First, you document everything. Screenshots, photos, recordings, and you check the finances. Do not confront him until you know exactly how deep his betrayal goes.
Claire looks around the room, at the candles, the plates, the fallen petals, and feels something inside her spine slowly align. She wipes her face with the back of her hand, sits down at the table, and opens her laptop. Bank statements fill the screen. Lines of numbers she used to skim with lazy trust now turning into potential weapons. It does not take long to notice transfers labeled temporary loan, an internal move that lead to accounts she does not recognize. Dates line up with the timeline of Ethan's new company growth. Right after she wired her savings to help with his first big launch.
He used joint funds to build his dream. He thought I would never look closely because I believed him.
Her fingers move faster now, taking screenshots, saving files into a hidden folder under a boring name that no one would click. After an hour, Jade arrives at the apartment with her laptop, hair still damp from the shower she left halfway through.
You made coffee. Good. Tonight we do not cry. We build your case.
They sit side by side in front of the glowing screens, while the untouched anniversary dinner cools behind them.
If he is willing to cheat with his body, he is willing to cheat with money. We assume the worst and hope to be pleasantly surprised.
They trace transfers from the joint account to Ethan's personal business account, then onto a separate investment account in his name only. Some transfers are small and spaced out. Others are large and timed just before major purchases for the company.
He is slowly moving the shared assets away, so that when he finally lets the marriage die, you walk away with nothing. Classic pattern.
I helped him negotiate his office lease. I used my contacts to bring in his first clients. And now he plans to cut me out, like I never mattered.
Then we do not walk. We drag him into the light. But to do that, you have to play the perfect trusting wife a little longer.
The idea tastes bitter, but it also tastes like power.
Tomorrow morning, you send him a message that sounds like forgiveness. You tell him you understand work is hard. You offer money for the project. We watch what he does when he believes you are still blind. Every move he makes will become another piece of evidence.
Later that night, when Jade has gone home with a promise to return, Claire lies awake staring at the dark ceiling. Images flicker in her mind. Ethan's hand on Sophie's neck, the new necklace glinting in the dim car light, the transfers on the screen.
You want a life without me, Ethan. You will get it, but not the way you planned. I will be the one who writes the ending.
In the pale gray of early morning, she finally takes her phone and types slowly. Each word a small act of control.
I know work is heavy lately. About last night. It is fine. We can celebrate later when things calm down. I wired some money to your card to help with the project.
She attaches the transfer screenshot before sending. heart steady this time.
You are a lifesaver. I promise once this deal closes, I will give you the anniversary you deserve. Thank you for always understanding me.
Claire saves the messages, the transfer receipts, and the timestamps of every call he makes that day, turning her heartbreak into a quiet, careful archive. By the time night falls again, she no longer feels like the woman who waited by cold candles. She feels like someone holding a blade behind her back, waiting for the right moment to strike. 3 days pass before Ethan finally announces that his mysterious project is under control, and he can breathe again. Claire watches his message pop up while she is sketching layouts at her office desk, and forces her hands not to tremble.
I booked a table at Aurelia for tonight. We can finally celebrate our anniversary properly. I want to make it up to you.
Aurelia is the high-end restaurant she tried to reserve weeks ago, but could not afford without cutting into savings. The same place he once called too extravagant.
Sounds nice. I will meet you there after work. I am glad your project is going well.
She does not mention that she already knows which nights he spent with Sophie instead of working, or that Jade has matched the timing with more suspicious transfers. When Claire arrives at Aurelia, the host leads her past glittering chandeliers and quiet couples to a secluded table by the window. Ethan stands to pull out her chair, suit perfectly tailored, smile turned up to the same gentle warmth she saw in the car with Sophie.
You look beautiful tonight, Claire. I am sorry I made you wait. I really have been buried in work.
His tone carries just enough guilt to sound real, just enough charm to soften the edges.
Work can be demanding. I understand that. But yes, I did wait. 5 years of marriage deserves more than a delayed text.
Ethan reaches across the table and takes her hand like a loving husband in a commercial for perfect couples.
I know, I messed up. I have been under pressure, investors breathing down my neck. If this deal goes through, we will both be set for life. I should have told you more. You have always been my backbone. I do not want you to feel second to anything.
He talks about stress and sacrifice and the vision he has for their future, sprinkling in memories of when they shared cheap takeout on the floor of their first tiny apartment. He never once mentions Sophie. Under the table, Claire thumb taps her phone screen and starts the recording app, placing the device face down between the bread plates.
I wired a lot of money to you recently. I did not even ask for details. Part of me worries. What if the deal fails? What if we lose everything?
The money is safe. I moved it where my partners cannot touch it. Even if the company takes a hit, our personal savings are protected.
There it is, the slip Jade predicted. One careless line about moving funds that he believes sounds responsible, instead of suspicious.
As long as we are protected, I trust your judgment. You know I would do anything for our family.
Dinner arrives, plates arranged like art, flavors that should have thrilled her taste buds but land like ash on her tongue. Between courses, Ethan checks his phone repeatedly, the screen lighting up with short messages from a contact, saved under a plain company name. Claire sees enough previews to read phrases like "miss you already," and "you owe me a new necklace. My neck still remembers." He smiles down at the screen, thumbs moving fast, then looks up with a soft expression, as if nothing in the world matters more than her.
Another client, asking for miracles, at night. Your job never rests.
You know how it is. Some clients do not understand boundaries. I will handle it later. Tonight is about you.
He pockets the phone at last, and reaches into his jacket, with an overly dramatic flourish.
I know it is late, but I still wanted to give you something. Happy anniversary, Claire.
He places a small jewelry box on the table, and slides it toward her, with a rehearsed smile. Inside lies a simple chain with a tiny heart pendant. Pretty but cheap, clearly not custom, clearly not thoughtful. Claire remembers the necklace she saw on Sophie. The high-end brand. The style she once pointed out as a dream piece on a shopping trip. This one does not even come close.
Thank you. It is lovely. I will wear it.
She clasps it around her neck with steady hands, aware that the phone is recording every soft word and every hollow promise across the table.
I hate that I hurt you. I really do. Once this deal is final, we should take a trip. Somewhere warm. Just the two of us, start over fresh.
A trip sounds nice, but starting over is not just about beaches and sunsets. It is about honesty.
Ethan's eyes flicker for a second, before he laughs it off and pours more wine into her glass. Later, in the car ride home, he keeps one hand on the wheel and the other resting on her knee, like he always used to when they were still new.
Thank you for being patient with me. I know I do not say it enough, but I am grateful for you.
Claire answers with a small nod, letting him hear what he wants to hear while she watches the city lights streak by like thin trails of fire. When they get home, Ethan falls asleep quickly, exhaustion real or staged, his soft snores filling the dark room. Claire lies awake beside him, phone in hand, transferring the dinner recording to the hidden folder Jade helped her encrypt. She adds screenshots of his messages during dinner, zooming in on the contact name and the timestamps that match their anniversary makeup date.
You wanted to rewrite our anniversary as a random night between meetings. I will rewrite it as the night your mask started to crack.
Down the hall in the small room that used to be her studio, pinned to a corkboard, new sketches begin to appear, arrows linking dates, names, and financial movements. It looks less like design work and more like the layout of a silent war. By the time dawn brushes the windows with gray, Claire has the outline of a different celebration in mind. One that will not end with kisses and cake, but with truth and ruin. 2 weeks later, Ethan closes what he calls the biggest deal of his career, sending Claire a message full of exclamation marks and future promises.
We did it! The contract is signed. This changes everything. I want to celebrate with everyone who believed in me.
By everyone, he means his partners, investors, key clients, and the loyal wife who quietly funded his climb. He does not know that she plans to add one more guest to the list. The woman he has been sharing more than business secrets with.
We should host a party. Maybe at Aurelia, or that rooftop lounge you like. Invite your partner's family. Everyone important.
This is why I love you. You always think bigger than me. Book it. I will cover the cost. We will celebrate the deal and our belated anniversary together.
Together, the word tastes sour as Claire forwards the plan to Jade along with the guest list she is quietly building.
Make sure Sophie comes. Invite her as a strategic partner or some vague title. A show needs its main actors on stage.
Claire sends an email to Sophie from the shared company address, polite and professional, praising her suggestions on a recent branding pitch Ethan mentioned at home.
We are hosting a celebration dinner for the project's success and our ongoing cooperation. It would be an honor to have you there.
Sophie replies within minutes, accepting with a line about being excited to meet more of Ethan's team in a relaxed setting. The night of the party, the restaurant private room glows with warm light, freestanding bar, and a large screen at one end for Ethan's planned presentation. Ethan circulates with a drink in hand, shaking hands, laughing with his partners, arm occasionally slipping around Claire's waist for the benefit of watching eyes. Guests congratulate them both, calling them a power couple, a perfect example of shared dreams and shared success. Claire smiles and thanks them, the perfect hostess in a simple black dress that makes her look composed and untouchable. When Sophie arrives, she is in a soft pastel dress that photographs well, her hair styled to look effortless, the necklace from that rainy night resting at her collarbone. Her eyes flicker with surprise when she sees Claire, then smooth into polite warmth.
Claire, it is so nice to see you. I heard so much about your support for the company. Ethan always says he could not have done this without you.
Thank you. Marriage is a long project of its own. I am glad he speaks well of me.
The words hang between them like glass, sharp and clear. Jade steps forward from the crowd then. Chic suit, bright lipstick, eyes cool as she greets Sophie like any other guest.
I am Jade, Claire friend and legal counsel. I handle some of their family matters. It is a pleasure to finally meet you.
Sophie hand falters for a fraction of a second before she recovers. Laugh a little too light. The room fills. Glasses clink, a gentle buzz of conversation rising under the background music. At 9 sharp, Ethan taps his glass with a fork and steps to the front of the room. Microphone in hand, smile bright.
Thank you all for being here tonight. This deal is not just my victory, it is ours. Every one of you played a part, especially my wife Claire.
Polite applause ripples through the room as he gestures for Claire to join him, arm sliding around her shoulders.
We got so busy that we even had to delay our anniversary this year. But she never complained. She just kept believing in me.
Claire feels his fingers press into her arm. A gentle squeeze that says play along. Do not embarrass me. She takes the microphone when he offers it. Her heart beats steady, the weight of the small flash drive in her pocket grounding her.
Thank you all for coming. Tonight is special for many reasons. It is the celebration of a company success, of a new partnership, and of a 5-year marriage that looks very perfect from the outside.
A soft laugh moves through the crowd. People nodding, some couples looking at each other with fondness.
But perfect stories are often edited. Tonight I thought we could watch the unedited version of ours.
She steps away from Ethan's arm, walks to the technician by the screen, and hands over the flash drive. The music fades, lights dim slightly, and the first image appears on the large screen behind her. A still frame of Ethan Carr on a rainy night fills the screen, zoomed in to show the man in the driver's seat, and the woman leaning close from the passenger side. Gasps break out around the room as the next slide shows Ethan fastening the necklace around Sophie's neck, the brand logo clearly visible in the corner. In the front row, a partner shifts uncomfortably, eyes darting between the screen and Ethan's face. Sophie goes pale, fingers flying up to touch the very same necklace at her throat. The audio kicks in next, a recording of Ethan's voice from the dinner at Aurelia.
The money is safe. I moved it where my partners cannot touch it. Even if the company takes a hit, our personal savings are protected.
The words echo in the suddenly tense room, heavy and incriminating. Slide after slide shows screenshots of messages, bank transfers and photos, each labeled with dates that match the timeline of his late nights and business trips. In one message, Sophie writes about missing him in the hotel bed. In another, Ethan promises that once his assets are fully secure, he will start the paperwork to end his marriage. A murmur of disgust rolls through the crowd. Someone swears under their breath. Ethan lunges toward the laptop, but Jade steps neatly between him and the controls, one eyebrow raised.
I would not suggest interrupting! There is a lot more the room should see before you try to spin this.
The final slide shows a simple document, the title announcing a motion to recover misused marital assets and to claim damages for emotional harm. Claire turns back to the room, microphone steady in her hand.
Tonight was supposed to be about celebration. Instead, you have just seen what my anniversary really looked like. Lies, affairs, and quiet financial theft hidden behind big dreams. Ethan used our joint savings and my personal support to build this image, all while planning to discard me as soon as he thought I was no longer useful.
She does not raise her voice, but every word lands with the weight of the evidence on the screen. Across the room, Ethan stands frozen, face drained of color, eyes bouncing between his partners, his investors, and the woman he thought would stay quiet. For a moment after Claire finishes speaking, the room hangs in stunned silence, like the air itself is holding its breath.
This is taken out of context. She is twisting things. The photos, the messages. They do not show the whole story.
His voice cracks at the edges, desperation leaking through the practiced charm. One of his partners, Daniel, steps forward with a tight jaw and a stare that has lost all warmth.
The part where you say you moved company-related money, so we cannot touch it. That sounded pretty clear to me, Ethan.
Murmurs of agreement ripple behind him as investors glance at one another, with growing anger.
Claire, you misread everything. Ethan and we were just working late. The photos make it look worse than it is. This is unfair.
Her hand shakes on the necklace, eyes shiny with panic rather than innocence.
Working late in parked cars with gift jewelry, whispering about hotel beds and divorce plans. That is certainly a bold definition of work.
A few guests let out sharp, bitter laughs, no longer even trying to hide their reactions.
To be clear, we are not here asking for pity. We are serving notice. The documents filed today include records of every transfer of joint assets into undisclosed accounts.
She lifts a folder and taps it with one manicured finger, eyes on Ethan.
We will pursue full recovery through the court, along with damages for the intentional emotional harm and the public image damage to Claire.
Ethan reaches for the microphone again, but a senior investor intercepts him with a cold stare.
We need to speak privately about this. But for now, understand that our trust is gone. Our money will be too, if what we just saw holds up.
He looks to Claire instead of Ethan when he continues.
I apologize that our involvement indirectly rewarded this behavior. We will cooperate with any investigation you pursue.
Ethan opens his mouth again, but the room is already shifting away from him, bodies turning conversations, starting that no longer center on his dream or his name. Sophie takes a step toward the door, but Claire moves just enough to block her path.
Leaving already? But the night is still young. Your company should see what kind of team player you are. So I sent them copies of tonight files before we started.
Sophie's face drains as her phone lights up with incoming notifications, each vibration another crack in the life she thought she was stepping into. Across the room, several colleagues have already pulled out their phones, whispers spreading, eyes full of judgment. Ethan reaches for Claire's arm, anger finally burning through his mask.
You planned this to humiliate me, to destroy everything I built. How could you do this to your own husband?
Claire looks down at his hand on her sleeve, then up into his eyes, and for the first time she feels nothing but clear, clean distance.
You stopped being my husband the moment you chose her bed and my savings at the same time. This is not destruction, Ethan. This is balance.
She pulls free and reaches into her clutch, drawing out a slim envelope.
These are the divorce papers, already prepared, already signed on my side. Jade will handle the rest. You will walk away with what the law allows after your theft is corrected, which is very little.
Gasps and low whistles move through the guests as Ethan stares at the envelope, like it is a live wire.
Given the extent of your misconduct and the strength of our evidence, you will be lucky to keep your personal clothes and your phone.
Sophie lets out a small broken laugh, realizing that the man she gambled on is no longer a rising star, but a falling one dragging her down with him. Someone near the back claps once, then again, and suddenly the tension snaps as scattered applause breaks out. Not for the scandal, but for the woman who refused to stay quiet. Claire does not bow or smile. She simply nods once, then turns and walks toward the exit with her head high, while flashes from a few phones capture her steady back. Outside, the night air is cool and sharp, the city lights washing the sidewalk in pale gold.
You did it. You walked into the fire, and you did not burn. How do you feel?
Strange, empty, lighter. Like I finally put down something that has been crushing my lungs for years.
Jade squeezes her shoulder, eyes softening for the first time all night.
The hard part is over, now we rebuild. And this time, everything you invest will be in yourself.
Months slip by in a steady blur of hearings, signatures, and long days at the design agency. Claire pours the same focus she once gave Ethan dreams into her own work, taking on risky projects, mentoring younger designers, and slowly carving out a new path. Her talent and calm under pressure catch the attention of upper management. And by the end of the year she is promoted to Vice President of Creative Direction. On the day she moves into her new corner office, the sky outside is bright and clear. No trace of the rain that once soaked her anniversary dress. She places the old velvet box on a shelf now empty, not as a shrine to pain but as a reminder of the moment she chose herself. Ethan Company, stripped of investor trust and tangled in legal scrutiny, falls apart slowly, then all at once, leaving him with debts and a shattered reputation. Sophie, marked in every industry circle as the woman who tried to climb through another person's marriage and company records, finds doors closing no matter where she knocks. They end up sharing a small apartment on the edge of the city, arguments leaking through thin walls as they blame each other for every lost chance. Claire does not follow their lives closely, but occasionally a rumor reaches her, and every time it does she feels no triumph, just a quiet confirmation that cause and effect still exist. On the next anniversary of her wedding date she does not set a table or light candles. She spends the day at a gallery opening her team designed, laughing with colleagues and new clients. When someone asks if she believes in anniversaries she smiles.
I believe in dates that mark the day you choose yourself over people who never truly chose you. Those are worth remembering.
Later that night, alone in her apartment that finally feels like home instead of a stage, Claire writes one last line in the journal she started on the night of the betrayal. She writes that love built on lies will always collapse, but a heart that survives the fall can become stronger than any promise whispered in the dark. She closes the journal with steady fingers, turns off the light, and lets the quiet wrap around her, not as loneliness, but as peace.
Thanks for watching. Follow for more romance stories.